Good morning, podcasters. Welcome to Going On Daily Live. I'm here with Mr. Tony. I am Becky. You are watching on Rhode Island Broadcasting. Good morning. I'm talking
Let's
to you,
start a
Tony.
drinking.
Good morning.
Let's start a drinking game. Let's start a drinking game today. Like all of the rest of New England, I am still sick. So let's see. If you're sober, take a shot of coffee. If you're a drinker, take a shot every time I have to clean up my
Rub your
snout today.
nose. Oh my God.
There is
Well,
your drinking game for today.
I'm gross with coffee. I'm not drinking coffee, but I am drinking amino acids. And I found out after
Nice.
drinking quite a lot of them in a day. Um, I said to the girl at the store where I bought it from, "Is it okay that I'm drinking more than one of these a day? It just kind of flavors my water. It tastes pretty good, and I'm getting all the amino acids that I'm deficient in." And she's like, "Yeah, if your body can handle all that caffeine." And I'm not a coffee drinker. And I'm like, "What do you mean all that caffeine?" Well, I
Uh-oh.
guess there's like green coffee or something in it. And so I'm
So
like,
this
"Yeah,
is
that makes sense. I've been a little wired lately."
That's
So,
good to know. And this is completely unplanned. So I also have BCAAs here
okay,
and coffee
nice.
here. So I guess if I start to get the shakes today, now I know why.
Well, it's
I'm double
interesting though.
fisting.
The other day, I just felt really dizzy and like, ugh, just off, and I had no idea why. And I realized it's because I didn't have my BCAAs. So I think my body is going through withdrawals from this. So, but like I said, I'm not a coffee drinker unless I have like the odd like iced cappuccino, whatever, something sweet and delicious. But yeah, my body's like so dizzy, and then I got an iced coffee in me, and then I felt better, and I'm like, okay, we might have a problem here from 2 3 weeks of BCAA. So my body clings onto things. That's why I can never be a drug addict, Tony. My body can't handle it.
It's funny because I have similar to what you were just saying, feeling dizzy. I have a problem with vertigo, and it's crazy to
Okay.
me that people pay good money to feel this way because it's awful.
Yeah, literally. I've wondered lately if I actually have vertigo because I'm dizzy a lot. And you're right. I every time I think about, hey, I should get drunk with my friends, whatever. I should get whatever high. No, I don't want any of that. I just want to be sober. I'm a delight sober, so I don't need any of that stuff. Anyways, I'll let everybody know where they can find us. We are on Facebook, Rhode Island Broadcasting or RI Broadcasting. Of course, you can just type it in the search bar. There are 10,000 other people following along with you there. And of course, you can support the show with stars. There's Ron Say Vertigo, great song by U2. There are no great songs by U2, Ron. Just kidding. I liked U2 in the 90s. Now I think they're cheesy. On YouTube at Rhode Island Broadcasting, you can hit the little bell, subscribe, get notifications for when we are on. And of course, on Twitch, where you know what? There are ads on Twitch, but we get paid when you watch an ad. So, we don't mind it. RI underscore broadcasting. And you can also disrespect. You can also support the show with bits over there. And of course, you can check us out on all of our socials. Ron does an amazing job of keeping all of our socials going. Check them out at RI Broadcasting or Broadcasting RI or a variation of any of them. And of course, on Patreon, you can check us out and support us and support the show on Patreon and get yourself some swag. So you can see right under me, MeWe, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Space Hey, X/Twitter. So all the things. Check us out anywhere on there. And Rhode Island Broadcasting has a lot of different shows. It's not just going on daily. So check us out, including my own show. Two Girls Without Cancer is on Rhode Island Broadcasting. You can check us out. What is it, Ron? Thursdays? Pretty sure it's Thursdays. Anyways, let's dive into it here. This is very interesting. And as soon as I saw that you posted this as one of your topics, I was like, oh, the conspiracy in me, my tinfoil hat went straight on. More young people having heart attacks. Can't wait.
So it is, you know what, in business they would call hockey stick growth, which in business is a good thing, but with people having heart
Right.
attacks, not so much. Some hospitals, 1 in 5 heart attacks is a person under 40. In the past 2 decades, it has just completely steadily gone up. And it's a lot of the things that you would think of, lack of access to healthcare for younger people, but it
Fair.
is some things that are almost, I want to say, focused in on the current generation or a younger generation, which is, of course, for all of us, I guess, poor diet, but also
Yeah.
poor diet and a sedentary lifestyle combined. So
Mm,
sometimes
interesting.
in the past, there would be poor diet, but the person in that generation
It's
still
busy. Yeah.
was busy, was working, was running around.
Yeah.
It's the two combined that are really seeing the heart attacks rise, along with the wonder that is vaping. And this
I
is
was gonna
still
say vaping is
this
probably on your list.
this is still TBD because they're still trying to do the studies and get people to
TBD.
participate in studies that are
Well, it's
studying
just so
vaping. But
new. It's so
yeah,
new. The long-term data isn't there. I have this argument with my husband constantly because he vapes a lot. Way more than he ever smoked, that's for sure. He never smoked in bed. He never smoked at the breakfast table. Like he didn't do any of those things. He is constantly vaping and I'm like, "You know," and then tell him whatever, facts. And he argues me that it has nothing to do with vaping, that it's if you buy cheap Chinese vape juice.
hmm,
Where he got that information, I'll never know because the data is so immature.
yeah. And it's tough to get people to want to sign up for a study about something
Yeah.
that is considered to be a vice. You know, it's not
Yeah.
like you're doing this great medical research that's going to help cancer patients later on down the line, and you get to be part of this new study. And it's just like, you know, how bad are you abusing this vice? Let us here at the study company keep track of that. And that's
I mean,
a tough road to hoe.
you would think though that they would want to be like, hey, is there damage? Am
Yeah.
I doing something to my body? Why don't I take a look into the study and see just for your own personal development? But maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm wired a little differently than other people. I know a
And
lot
then
of people. Sorry, go on.
also kind of focused in on this generation is chronic stress and
Yeah.
the mental health crisis that is
Oh,
currently happening.
yeah.
And
Wild.
all of those symptoms tie into potential cardiovascular symptoms, not just later on down the road, but currently. And Ron just mentioned energy drinks too. That's another one where the information is so young on studying people. And I'm guilty of it too, of that energy drink being a go-to, but there are kids out there that are drinking these all day, every day, just like you would see
Young
someone of a
kids.
different generation with a cup of coffee.
I was gonna say you got your BCAAs, you got your coffee, you also have your energy drink. You have the caffeine trifecta with you right now.
Just start. I should wear one of those hats like they have for beer drinking, one of the helmets with a beer on each side, and I could have my coffee mug in one and my BCAA in the other, and I could just sip on that straw this whole time instead of having to reach for my various mugs over here.
Oh gosh, yeah, make those arms obsolete. Too much work. Yeah, so my kid's friend, my kid's 14, her friend is 14. I got a Snapchat from her on the weekend holding a energy drink can and she goes, "My third one today." She weighs
Wow.
100 pounds, if that, maybe 90 pounds. This kid is tiny. I'm thinking, why the heck are you allowed this? Who bought you this many energy drinks and who is not monitoring you? And I said, girl, you're going to have a heart attack. What are you doing? They don't listen to me. Now, the odd time I let my kid have it, today is track and field day. I bought her one, but just one, and that's it. Okay. And even I feel like really guilty about it. I don't understand like why energy drinks is such a popular thing. Red Bull's been around for a lot of years, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden it is really trendy to have these Alanis or Celsius or even the Red Bulls. Really popular again.
And it's also, it seems to become a little bit like Starbucks was back in the day. It's almost
Yeah,
a status symbol to hold, to have
you're right.
that certain can with you throughout
Yes.
the day. And I see kids with them at the gym and they'll kind of do a little workout and then they'll chug that and they'll do a little workout and they'll chug that. And it seems to keep them moving. So, you know, I can't criticize, but there's definitely, that's another
I
one
know.
where the study is to be determined.
Yeah, that is so interesting because on one hand, we're frustrated with the younger generation for their sedentary lifestyle, that computer work smarter, not harder kind of generation. But it's like, I mean, the obesity epidemic is crazy right now. Like in no time in history have you seen people like
Right.
this. but it's like, so they're at the gym, but maybe they need that extra boost of energy to go. But me, again, I'm pretty crunchy. So I'm like, no, just get outside, breathe some fresh air, have some bare feet, drink lots of water. I don't know. I'm frustrated as well. I'm only 38, so I'm only shortly out of that. But like, I find it very frustrating just watching the mindset of my kids and their friends, and I don't get it. I'm shocked by this. So I'm not surprised that
And
more
that
young
also
people are
plays
having
into
heart
the mental
attacks.
health crisis, because if someone is
Yeah,
just having a, tiny bit of depression symptoms, that leads to more sedentary lifestyle. That leads to
of
more
course.
couch rotting, as the kids like to call it, or bed rotting,
Unfortunately.
and
Yeah.
it just, starts to snowball.
I was talking to another mom the other day, and she was like, and she was the same age as me, and she goes, I don't know about you, but I feel guilty for couch rotting, essentially laying around. She goes, I was never taught to just take even self-care. If I'm burnt out, just to have a day where you chill, which is good for you, the odd time here and there. But she's like, I feel guilty sitting around wasting my day. And I'm like, girl, I hear ya. It took getting cancer to like really slow me down, because otherwise it was like, gotta go here, gotta go here, gotta go here. And even now that I'm out of it, I'm back at it, busy, busy, busy all the time. But I mean, the nice thing about it is that I don't necessarily need the energy to do it. I have my own natural energy. And of course, my BCAAs. But,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a vice. I'd say it's actually pretty fairly healthy as far as like things to take for energy goes.
And I didn't think about that until you mentioned it. Maybe some folks with like various faith backgrounds would think about taking Sunday off to refresh, to
Yeah, right?
recharge. Yeah, that was never the idea of spending Friday night or Saturday night or Sunday night, or possibly from Friday to Monday on the couch that whole time. I can only think that has come up in the past few years, maybe since 2020 and beyond. But yeah, I never remember, unless somebody was sick with the flu or something along those lines, that
Exactly.
was never a consideration of how to spend your free time.
Exactly. I know if I let my younger one sit in her bed all day, she would do it. Lights off, phone in her face,
Yeah.
48 hours straight. She would come out the odd time to eat something and then go back to her room. I could never. I never did when I was a kid. I wouldn't have been allowed also, but like I just had no desire to do it. So
You
it's
want to.
it's bizarre. It is a bizarre thing that's happening. You're right. With the mental health crisis, you're absolutely right. Now, I think that it was on the incline even prior to 2020, but 2020 sort of solidified that for people. And the energy just out and about doesn't feel the same as it once did. It almost feels like the souls have been sucked out of people.
And
It's
listen, if
bizarre.
someone's trying to find a medical provider, they're having a heck of a time. But if someone's
Yeah.
trying to find a mental health provider, they are having a heck of a time, because there are 6 month, 7 month, year waiting lists for someone to get into a mental
Yeah,
health
that's
provider,
not
which is
right.
why all these triage options are so important. But that's the same thing that I was thinking about, of how that could potentially snowball. And we love conspiracy theories around here. So I think that it is a conspiracy from the bedding industrial complex, because there has to be so many more wear and tear on mattresses now that kids are sitting in bed all day.
Let's make it extra comfortable. We don't want these kids to ever leave. Also, let's make it so nobody becomes a counselor. I don't
and
know
just the
about. No, sorry, you go ahead. I'll
And
finish my
just the
thought after.
last one on this point, because it's getting depressing thinking about all my friends, younger friends, having heart attacks left and right all around town. It is undiagnosed, which we just talked about, the medical health provider crisis, and ignored symptoms. And listen, I am so guilty of this. I want to walk it off. I want to think, oh, let me
Mhm.
go to the gym and that will solve it. Or maybe I just had some Taco Bell heartburn, when in fact it's
It's a heart attack.
a cardiology situation. So if you have those symptoms, please consider not continuing to ignore them, because you may
Yes.
think that you're too young to be in a situation where you're having a heart attack or a mini heart attack or a mini stroke or anything like that. But that trajectory is going up, folks under 40.
Mhm. So what I was gonna say before is I don't know what it costs in the States, and it's probably different state to state or even city to city, what it costs to see a counselor. But in Canada, the kind of the median is $200 for a 50-minute session,
Mm.
50. So yeah, if you've got extended health benefits, they probably cover 500. So cool, you get 2.5 sessions. I'm sorry, I've done counseling. You're going to need more than 2.5 sessions. All right, it's absurd. Who can afford it? I see people all the time posting online. I really want to see a counselor. I just cannot afford it. What are my options? There are no options. You're supposed to just deal with your health crisis on your own. And that's where, you know, booze comes in, drugs comes in, whatever other vice comes in because you're just trying to self-medicate. It's actually quite a terrible cycle that's happening right now.
Yeah, it is a true, like, I feel like I'm saying this a lot lately, which is sad, but it is a true triage situation.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so my other question, I mean, if we're gonna do anything today, we're gonna blow the algorithm. We're gonna be put in Facebook jail here. What are your thoughts on the COVID vaccine? Because I just feel, put on my tinfoil hat. I just feel like a lot of the reason why we're seeing more heart or cardiac events, and not even just cardiac events, but like illness events, could be because of this.
And there's a
Yeah,
new one out that just hit the market now, and
gosh,
that's
just
another
what we need.
situation where it's still to be they're still attempting to study it.
Yeah, well, this is what we're saying, like, 10 years of data on vaping isn't enough. So, like, certainly 1 year of data is not enough. 2 years of data is not enough, to make an informed decision. I just know, like, in my line of work, I see people who have been injured post taking it, and, these are young people. I had a 20-year-old in here, and I had her older brother who was about 30, and they were both very injured from it, and it's just interesting to me. These are young people. Never in history have young people been having heart attacks. The guy that day thought he was having a heart attack. Now, I used to do makeup. I was a makeup artist for a lot of years, and I did makeup on a nurse from the cardiac ICU unit in Calgary, and I'm doing her makeup, and this was like 2022 probably. And, she goes, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen the cardiac ICU as busy as it is now." She goes, "It's full of young people." And I was like, Obviously, it's full of young people." I was like, "What do you think this is?" And, again, I'm pretty conspiracy minded, so I knew what I thought it was. And she's like, street drugs." I'm like, Street drugs? Like, is that worse now than it ever was?" She's like, yeah, everyone's doing street drugs now." And I think, yes, there is definitely some efficacy to that. I think a lot of people are as they deal with their mental health crisis. Street drugs seems like a very viable option, but I also think there's got to be more to it. And like you're saying, there's a huge list of factors that it really could be. So,
And that's another snowball situation because cardiologists weren't as needed, so not as many people went into the specialty. So there
yeah.
aren't as many cardiologists out there, and it
Mhm.
continues to roll forward.
Now, Ron's saying it all goes back to food. Yeah, it really does when our food is really bad for you. North America has some of the worst quality of food because, I mean, the States, oh my gosh, the stuff that you guys put in your meat is mind blowing. Even some of that is banned in Canada. And you guys just pump your stuff full of it. And it's like, if you want to eat, if you want to be able to afford to eat, then you got to buy the crap. You
Yeah.
can't just go to a farm and go farm to table or buy all the organic, free range, grass fed, whatever. It's too expensive, right? Most people can't afford that. So then they eat the junk. Our minerals are in our soil are very depleted. So that even the vegetables that you're getting are not, what they used to be. So you're right, Ron. It does go back to food. You are what you eat. There's a reason why they say that. It's because it's true, honestly. So Ron's saying that this is not going to be a good news show day. It's not. You're right, 100%. Um, but you know what? Sometimes the real facts are not the nicest. They're not heartwarming, right? I tried to do some heartwarming stories last week. Today is not that day. So, anyways, anything else about young people and heart attacks?
No, I think that's enough depression for now.
Oh, well, if you like that depression, wait till you hear this. There is a controversial new study going on right now. Oh, wait, are we on mansions now? No, we're on. No, okay. He threw me off with the graphic on the bottom. All right, so there's a controversial new study out that links Parkinson's disease with living near a golf course. So it's found that people who live near golf courses may actually face a higher risk of Parkinson's disease. Now, of course, it doesn't mean the golf course itself is causing it, but there are people now from the Barrow Neurological Institute in the US. So, like a brain center, scientists, right? Not just me doing a study, actual scientists doing a study. They have a hypothesis. They think that the rampant amount of pesticides that go to keep the grasses green are exposing nearby residents to toxic chemicals via air and water. And that is a perfectly logical hypothesis because what do you think happens when you spray stuff? The air takes it, the groundwater takes it. This is 100% legit. So, yeah, it's a huge increase. It's like 126% more
Wow.
chances of being diagnosed with Parkinson's if you live within 1 mile of a golf course.
Hmm.
So, I mean, again, I don't know about where you live, but here, living near the golf course is a little more prestigious, right? You want that to be your background. It looks beautiful. It's taken care of. It means you have a little bit more money. And yet here we are having people with Parkinson's. Now, a girlfriend of mine, her dad has it. I seem to recall growing up, they didn't live there long, but they definitely did live there, backed onto the golf course because they were wealthy. They wanted to have some prestige. They lived near the golf course. I don't know.
The magic of upsetting the algorithms, because I think that we have just got shadow banned. Becky has once again got shadow banned. You're due for a punch card, so I think it should be like a free coffee where you punch a certain amount. Once you have 5 shadow bans, then you can have a free cup of coffee.
Oh, I would have a free Starbucks by now. Can you hear me now? You can obviously hear me.
I can,
now.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing. Okay, how about now?
Yep, still got you.
I don't know. The Facebook gods have frowned upon me today. The free stream algorithm gods. Anyways, what I was saying before, I'm not sure where I got cut off, but it says that there has been intense debate over the years, wondering if certain pesticides have increased the risk of neurodegeneration. Farmers, for example, tend to face higher risks of Parkinson's disease, as do those who historically live in industrial regions. Is it because of pesticides and air pollutants, chemicals, like Ron is saying, chemicals seep into the groundwater? Yes, 100%. So, it's really hard to say. There's such a debate on it, again, because it's more like recent years they've wondered if this was a thing. So not a lot of research has gone into it, but it sounds like a fairly sound argument. Right? They have no idea what causes neurodegeneration, like Parkinson's disease, and there's no cure for it either. That's another really horrible thing. There's no cure for this. And so why not start looking into things that are so, like, I don't know, glaringly simple and obvious, right? Ron says it's been researched but hidden results. Yes, of course, as is most things. What causes cancer? I don't personally know, but someone does. So,
and I don't know what's more insulting: paying a premium to live next to a golf course to potentially get Parkinson's or other diseases, or buying this beautiful place where you can entertain, inviting all your friends over, and then later having to tell them, "Oh, thanks for hanging out over here, but by the way, you're at an increased risk for Parkinson's disease. Hope you can come again and tell your friends."
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like living near a wind farm. It's like, oh, I'm being so sustainable, renewable resources, but it's like there's actually like very high increased rates of cancer living near a wind farm. for whatever reason. I don't know what it is that causes it, but yeah, it's very interesting. So it says that another, what is this? The Mayo Clinic and the University of Rochester and the University of Kansas adds to the debate. Their population-based study compared 419 Parkinson's cases with 5,113 healthy individuals matched for sex, age, and demographics. After adjusting the various neighborhood characteristics, the team found that living within a 1 mile, so 1.6 kilometers, range of a golf course was associated with that 126% increased risk of developing Parkinson's compared to those living more than 6 miles or 10 kilometers away. What's more is that people living within water service areas containing a golf course were found to have nearly double the odds of developing Parkinson's compared to those living in golf-free areas. That's insane. So 252% chance if you share a water source with a golf course. So these correlations have led the researchers to argue that golf courses are a possible risk factor and that pesticides in the air and the groundwater are contributing to that risk. Public health policies to reduce the risk of groundwater contamination and airborne exposure from pesticides on golf courses may help reduce the risk of Parkinson's in nearby neighborhoods. So anyway, there's people naysaying it, of course. There's Parkinson, where is this? They doesn't say where they're from, but they're researchers, someone named Fletcher and another named Dexter. Parkinson's UK, that's where they're from, this Parkinson's UK Society. The new study never tested for groundwater contamination near golf courses or pollutants in the air, nor did the researchers properly control for other sources of urban air pollution like that kicked up by road traffic. So let's say you lived in LA compared to like some small town in, I don't know, Iowa. Is there going to be more risk of Parkinson's from golf course to golf course because you just have so much more road pollution? It's hard to say. They also say that what's more, groundwater data on pesticides around golf courses is limited, and a 2024 study found that airborne pesticides are of limited concern to golfers, even after playing 18 holes. I don't know. I feel like that's more, Monsanto or something coming in and being like, no, there's no research. You can totally play 18 holes here and breathe in all this chemical pesticide, and you're totally fine. But, that being said, there is a lot of danger with glyphosate and pesticides and things like that. Now, let me just bring up a different article here that I saw. Again, I follow a lot of crunchy pages, so I get a lot of this, crunchy research, right? So let's see here. Okay, so this is saying like this person's not even getting into what else Roundup causes, not just Parkinson's, but a whole list of everything. You can also, you can also look up all these lawsuits against Monsanto, and they've also sold the poison. So Roundup, Roundup to kill weeds. They've also sold this poison to Bayer, as you know, Bayer of aspirin, Bayer pharmaceutical company, for $63 billion. And they are also looking to pass laws that give them immunity against other lawsuits. So if you don't understand like how corrupt pharmaceutical industries are and, the lobbyists and things like that, it's very dark. It is a very dark rabbit hole to get down. If you were someone who lives in this like perfect world where no one would ever hurt us, my friend, welcome to the internet. It's a nasty place. So glyphosate is obviously everywhere as well. It's one of the most pervasive toxins in our modern world. So things like Cheerios, Trix, cereal, Trix are for kids, Corn Flakes, Raisin Bran, Special K, Frosted Flakes, Ritz crackers, Oreos, Lay's chips, Doritos, Fritos, all of those have very high levels. Like, I don't know what in Cheerios, of course, it comes from wheat. So yeah, 100% it would. It's saying like, okay, what is it here? The glyphosate levels are in Cheerios are 1,125 parts per billion. So I don't know what like an acceptable amount is, but that seems to be the highest on this this list right here, with Fritos at 174 parts per billion. But yeah, time to stop eating everything. Listen, you got to cook your own meat that you've butchered yourself from animals that you grew in your yard. vegetables that you grew yourself, regenerative farming. It's a lot of work, and that's just it. Like, how do we even do this? Right before I logged on to the podcast today, I saw in one of my crunchy groups, a girl said, you know, we grow all our own everything. We make all our own sauces. We do all this, we do all that. And she's like, I'm only 20 and I feel like a freak compared to some people my age. I'm like, girl, you are living the dream. Continue. Who cares what everyone else thinks? You make your own bread, you grow your own wheat, like everything. You're living the dream. And you know what? Probably this person's going to live a heck of a lot longer than the rest of us who are eating chemicals nonstop. So anyway, it's not all doom and gloom. There are ways that you can protect your body against glyphosate or detoxify your body. Fulvic acid is, you know, one of those things. It's a natural substance shown to neutralize, bind, and detoxify the glyphosate in your body. Here's how it works. Fulvic acid acts as a powerful chelator. Chelator is like a heavy metal detoxer. It binds to the metals and toxins and escorts them out of the body. No, fulvic acid, Fulvic, fulvic acid. So glyphosate itself binds tightly to the essential minerals like zinc, magnesium, manganese. See, Ron, manganese, remember that one? This is before you joined. He had no idea what manganese was. And he was like, I mean, magnesium? No. Disrupting the enzyme function of it. Fulvic acid competes with glyphosate by chelating these minerals more effectively, potentially displacing glyphosate from them. The process can then restore mineral balance while reducing glyphosate's toxic hold on tissues. So I won't go into all of that, but look, I mean, even if you go on social media, type in fulvic acid, all the crunchy pages are going to come up. This girl that I follow is called beautiful_holistic_. Her name is Ava Abram. She is amazing. I'm going to get more information on it because I think it's fantastic. But yeah,
and the same is true with activated charcoal, but not everybody can tolerate that. So I will say from experience, it is gross.
Yeah. So like a year and a half ago now. So I had just finished chemo in October of 2023. Chemo is very toxic, right? Poison, disgusting, hard on the body. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take vitamin C and ozone therapy and different minerals and stuff via IV bags, just to like get it out of my body, right? To get as healthy as possible. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes your body detoxes a heck of a lot faster than it can eliminate. And then you get sick. If you're doing a detoxing without the proper elimination channels, you will get sick. And I did. I was so ill. I ended up in the hospital. I thought I had brain metastasis. I thought they went from boob to brain. I was convinced I had to have CT scans, MRIs, all the things. They found nothing. I thought I was having a heart attack. They found nothing. Everything was just me detoxifying and not being able to handle it. And so the one thing that took me out of that, it's called a Herxheimer or healing crisis. The one thing that took me out of it was charcoal. I mixed the activated charcoal, and the kind that I have, honestly, is for cleaning your teeth. It was a mix of that and a bit of bentonite clay and a little bit of mint. But it was, sorry, my dog's going crazy. The cleaner's here. I mixed it into water and I drank it for a couple days, got rid of it immediately. But you're right, charcoal is not tolerated by a lot of people. It's like a 2 to 3 day max kind of thing. You can't take it. Like bentonite clay, you can take for like 2 weeks. Activated charcoal, you want to take it like 1 or 2 doses and then you are done. So yeah, very good. Cool. I see you got a little crunchy in you yourself, Tony.
So the top thing that I'm thinking of is that for everybody out there, if you're like me and you absolutely suck at golf, not that I have the attention span to make it through 18 holes, but if you suck at golf, your ball goes in that water, let it go. Don't go reaching in after it. Don't go swimming in after it. No. Let the ball go and move on.
Because you got a 252% chance of getting Parkinson's by swimming in that water. Maybe not the one time, but you know what I'm saying.
Plus, there could be an alligator in there.
Seriously, if you are golfing in Florida, there's a solid chance that there's an alligator in there. Oh, yeah. Anyways, more doom and gloom here. You've got I want to say that this is sort of a heartwarming story about pet return.
I wanted to have a nice one because the last few times that I've been on, I've got a little bit of feedback that it was very murdery. And so I thought,
people love murder. People love it.
what nice thing can I talk about? And actually, today happens to be, and I think maybe your dog knows this and was testifying, it is National Rescue Pet Day, celebrating folks that go out there and instead of buying a dog from a nasty ass breeder,
Right.
rescues a pet and specifically rescues a senior dog that have nowhere else to go. So this is actually
rescued senior dog. She's old and crusty, and she's a
this is surprisingly, this is the shortest time Boo the cat went missing in the UK from 2018. They found Boo again in 2005. So Boo was missing for 13 years. However, this whole 13 years, and they confirmed this, I was thinking how, sometimes cats and dogs looks the same. So these are all confirmed with the microchips. So they in fact know that is the same pet that went missing originally. Boo, for that 13 years, was just out in the backyard in the neighborhood. And they got Boo back after 13 years.
So where was he?
Just hanging out. Because they're able to go back and track him. And yeah, Boo was just out in the woods and just in the neighborhood, alley-catting around, hanging out. Must have been getting food from the neighbors or kind of, sneaking back in, finding different ways to feed himself. But yeah, Boo was just in the hood.
When I moved into my now husband's house in 2018, I brought my cat with, and I'd only had her for 2 years at that point, but I would let her outside. She wouldn't wander. She would kind of just stick around, roll in the grass, roll in the dirt, whatever. She just likes to stay close. So when I came here a couple months in, I think she just didn't know her surroundings yet because I hadn't really let her out and we just moved there. Well, she got lost. She was gone for 6 weeks. Now, 6 weeks is not 13 years, but 6 weeks is a long time. We were pretty stressed out. I was checking it in the city, the SPCA, like everywhere, putting up signs, nothing. And then one day my mom's like, why don't we just go look for it? It'd been 6 weeks already. My kids were little. They were really upset about it. And I said, let's just go for a walk. So we did. I kid you not. I walked in the alley behind my house. I have a back garage. And I'm walking into my garage and I hear this mew. And I was like, there's no way. I look, friggin' pops her head out of my neighbor's backyard. My neighbor's door, like to their backyard, touches my garage. She was this far away for 6 weeks. We're like, you idiot. And she was thin, rail thin. She probably ate nothing. So, it's been, 7 years since that happened. I let her out all the time. She has never left since. I think she realized she doesn't want to be a street cat any longer. That's funny too, because when I rescued her in 2016, she had been a street cat as well. So you think she would have not wanted to go back to that life. Yeah, she's a cat that can't hunt. She's very kept. Today I fed her cuts with cheese and some pulled chicken. She's a fancy cat. So yeah, she never left ever again after that though, but 13 years. That's wild.
It kind of reminds me what you were just talking about those scared straight programs they used to have for kids. They'd make them go to juvenile hall, telling your cat, listen, get your act together or you're going to be living in the alley.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to weigh nothing? Like she was just all skin. Like I could pull her skin because she had lost so much weight being out there. It was sad. I'm like, well, it serves you right for not knowing how to walk 2 feet this way into your own backyard for 6 weeks. Like she's lucky it wasn't in the winter time because it gets very cold here. So yeah, 13 years.
So also in the UK, Tigger the cat is the longest confirmed. Tigger was gone from 2006 to 2023, missing for 17 years, microchipped. They were able to confirm that this was in fact the same cat. And again, they found that cat in their own garden. So that cat was sticking around locally too for 17 long years.
Oh my gosh. Like I know how cats can be. They can be a little put off with you, right? If you don't give them exactly what they want in that moment, they're mad. So he's just like, no, I'm not going to talk to my human for 17 years. Yeah. It got a little out of hand.
Oh, talk about holding a grudge.
Yeah, literally. But what's sad about that is 17 years is a huge amount of time. 13 years is a huge amount of time. When a cat's lifespan may only be 20 years, you've lost so much time with this pet. You've missed I don't want to say it's formative years, but you know what I'm saying? You miss all that time. And so you finally get him back and he's probably only has another year or two to live, if that.
And I have a great lifespan one for my final one, but for time and distance, Duchess the Fox Terrier was missing from 2007 to 2019, 12 years. However, Duchess was in Pennsylvania, nice little Fox Terrier. They found Duchess in Florida and returned, checked the microchip and
So
returned
where,
Duchess to
where
his
did he get
owners.
lost
So
from?
yeah, Duchess gone for 12 years and also managed to travel 1,000 miles from Pennsylvania to Florida.
That sounds like someone probably picked this
Yeah.
dog up.
Yeah,
Put him in
probably.
Wow. Like if you're going to pick up a dog because you're kind and you want to help it, at least take it to the local SPCA. That's insane. So my dad.
Especially now, there's a way, it's not like back in the day where just an animal went stray. I mean, there are whole networks of people interested in reuniting people with their pets.
Yeah, really. Sorry. I just put on lip gloss. I don't know if you saw me doing that. And it has a chili pepper on the front. It's infused with chili. And now it's burning my throat. I don't know why I did that.
I hope that you weren't seeking an endorsement from that product, because I think you just got a reverse endorsement.
Yeah, literally. Well, I have another one in my purse right here. This one is the same brand, but this one is cinnamon. This one is much more tolerable. So I bought the cayenne one yesterday. Ooh, terrible idea. Okay, I was going to say in, I don't know, 2019 probably, my mom went to Cambodia. My dad stayed home. And he took the dog camping, just him and the dog. That's it. They went up north about 4 or 5 hours away. Well, it was Canada Day. So, your 4th of July. It was Canada Day and fireworks went off. This dog is terrified of fireworks and she bolted. She was gone. My dad spent 2 days at this campground looking for her, went into town, went to the SPA, everything. No one could find her. It turns out someone had picked her up, but the tattoo or the microchip or whatever wasn't registered to my parents, which is crazy because my parents have been her owner since 2010. This was she was like 8 or 9 when this happened. And he was like, he gave up. And this was my mom's baby. And so he's like, I'm not going to tell her while she's in Cambodia. She's going to come home and just find out that her dog's gone. And I lost her. And she's running around Peace River 5 hours north by herself. And so my dad packed up the thing, like the trailer, and he decided to come home. He was just about to turn on the highway to leave, and he came to a 4-way stop, and a truck was there. His dog's head popped out of the passenger side of this truck, and he was like, "Oh my God, you have my dog!" And so they pulled over, and he's like, "Where did you find this dog?" And he's like, "Yeah, I found her a couple days ago. I've been taking her to the vet and the shelters and stuff, and they said that she wasn't registered." And he's like, "Oh my God, this is my dog." And so, yeah, they just were reunited as he was literally leaving town. Oh,
I know some families that if the husband lost the dog or the pet, the husband would also be on the streets.
Yeah, I mean, my mom would have been very upset. She would have forgave, but she would have been really upset. I mean, just the thought of knowing your dog is alone without their family. I mean, yes, someone would find them probably and take care of her, but I don't know. Ron says, why would you want chili pepper? Well, it's supposed to plump your lips, make them like spicy. But yeah, it was a really dumb choice. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, anyways, those are nice stories. I mean, it's nice to hear that people were reunited with their pets. I mean, Pennsylvania and Florida, that's insane.
So just one more, because this was my favorite.
Okay.
Manuela the tortoise was missing from 1982 to 2013. Manuela was missing, female tortoise, missing for 30 years. Manuela comes back old enough to drink now, old enough to rent a car. So the family's moving. They start to clean out the house, long forgotten about having a tortoise that they couldn't find.
Yeah.
Cleaning out a storage room, they found her in a box full of junk. She'd been eating termites all these years, just living her best life in this spare room that they had for 30 long years. They got their tortoise back.
Still alive. Don't they need water?
Just living off the land, living off the clutter.
She's a forager. Wow, that is insane. You got to feel pretty bad as an owner, honestly. Wow, that is something. I mean that tortoise is one of those animals that are living for 100 years. So,
Yep.
at least you got some years with him after, or her after.
Yeah, that's one of those pets where people pass them on
Yeah, literally.
intergenerationally, where you may have your grandparents' tortoise, and if it's still with you.
Yeah, I had a guy I worked with. He had two little, I can't remember if they were tortoises or turtles. I want to say tortoises because they hung out in the grass a lot and they were tiny. They must have just been babies, this big. And he would let them hang out in his grass in the backyard. But he would tie a little balloon on a string around them so that he could see where they were at all times. Isn't that sweet? Okay, well, this was a good story. I liked this. On the heels of another doom and gloom story.
And talk about a place where the animals hopefully are escaping the facility.
Well, speaking of animals being had terrible stuff happening to them. Okay, so this is pretty gross. Earlier this month, former Playboy bunny Holly Madison appeared on a podcast called In Your Dreams, where she reflected on her experience living in Hugh Hefner's notorious Playboy mansion. Now, if anyone remembers the show The Girls Next Door, it was Hugh Hefner and his three girlfriends. There was Holly Madison, there was, I want to say, a girl named Brooke, and then a girl named Kendra. I watched it. It was stupid. It was weird, I guess, because I was like 20 and I didn't really understand how this was a thing. Like, what do you mean three beautiful women are dating this old ass man? Like, I didn't understand. Holly Madsen was only 21 years old when she moved into the mansion. Hugh Hefner was 75 at the time. I'm sorry. I've been a 21-year-old girl. I'm a 38-year-old girl. No part of me wants a 75-year-old man. I'm sorry. The pair are thought to have started dating later that year, though Hefner notoriously had multiple girlfriends and sexual relationships with other Playboy bunnies as well. Of course, you are not dating this man for what is the word? Monogamy. You're not dating this man for, I don't know, sexual gratification. You're probably dating this man for security. I would imagine is probably the reason. So he died in 2017. I can't believe it's been that long already. And lots of ex-playmates have come forward about their negative experiences at the mansion. Who would you rather, Hugh or Bill Belichick? I actually don't know anything about Bill Belichick, so I'm going to say him, I guess. I don't know, though, because I think that's a football guy. Am I right? Anyway. So Holly Madison recalls having disgusting group sex with Hugh Hefner and then other playmates, something that she has detailed numerous times over the years since starting denouncing her time at the mansion. It's crazy because, she had a whole show over it. Yeah, I'm Hugh Hefner's girlfriend. I love it. And then you realize, this was all an act. She didn't love being there. She felt disgusting. She was just a child.
And it was a fairly, I only watched it here and there, but it was a fairly nice, wholesome show. It was on just a regular cable channel. It wasn't pornography. It wasn't anything.
On the E network or whatever. It wasn't them orgies or anything like that. It was like these young girls living their lives, trying to get famous, doing what they have to do.
Yeah.
They really did become good friends with each other too, a sister wife type scenario. But at the end of the day, none of these girls liked Hugh Hefner. None of them enjoyed being with Hugh Hefner. They were trying to get famous. And it's sad that they had to go that route, right? So she has a whole bunch of different things here. I'm going to read through. It'll probably take us right till the end of the show. So unfortunately, there will be no top 5 today. Ron, save that for another day. So last year, Holly Madison shared that the mansion was full of trays of makeshift lube in every bathroom, out on the tennis courts, by the pool. It would be this is like a Diddy house, okay? Just lube everywhere, 1,000 tubs of it.
Good God.
It would be full of a tray of Kleenex, Pepto-Bismol, because obviously sex makes you indigested.
A 75-year-old man, it does.
Yeah, right. Like, hold on, I've got diarrhea. Let me just try this Pepto-Bismol. Vaseline, yuck, you don't put that inside of somebody. Baby oil, yuck, you don't put that inside of somebody. And sunscreen. And of course, any makeshift lube that he could find. That's gross. A couple years prior, Madison also alleged that Hefner used baby oil as lube against her will. She said, I remember talking to the gynecologist about it and then telling Hugh Hefner, you need to stop using the baby oil. I can't use it. Even telling the gynecologist or telling him that the gynecologist agreed with me, he would argue and be like, well, people use baby oil on babies. And I'm like, yeah, on their skin, not internally. You're not supposed to put it there. But he wouldn't stop. So this girl probably had infections nonstop. Yeah, it's terrible. She says that it got to the point where I refused to use it. And then other people would tell me that he would, in the bedroom, put it on his hand and put it on me when my back was turned. And I didn't know he was doing it.
Why?
Oh my God. She said it's so foul and non-consensual and so gross. Like, honestly, she was probably happy when he died. I hate to say that, but she probably was. Granted, she chose to be there. She made her bed, but like nobody deserves this sort of treatment. In 2021, ex-playmate Sandra Theodore, who dated Hugh Hefner for 5 years in the late 70s and early 80s, claimed that the Quaaludes, so, sedative hypnotic drugs, were used for sex in the mansion. She alleged it was such a seduction, and men knew this, that they could get girls to do just about anything they wanted if they gave them a Quaalude. Now, Holly Madison said years later, of course, that she raised concerns about these Quaaludes. She said, I remember asking him, aren't you scared to give these out to people? What if somebody overdosed? Before he said, yeah, it's a thought, but he didn't care. It was nonchalant. Like, if someone dies of an overdose at your house with something that you gave them, I feel you're probably liable. That being said, it's Hugh Hefner. He probably got away with a lot. A lot. When you have money, you get away with a lot. Last year, Hugh Hefner's widow, a girl named Crystal, made this heartbreaking claim that animals were abused at the mansion, like we were talking about, which had an on-site zoo as well. Even with the window shut, I could hear their voices in my mind. Help, help, they called and wailed. I don't know why she's saying it like that. At least that's what it sounded like to me. So in what way were they abused? I'm not really sure. In the 2022 docuseries, Secrets of Playboy, Theodore, remember his girlfriend from the 70s and 80s, claimed that she once, this is so gross, walked in on Hugh Hefner engaging in sexual activity with a dog. I walked in on him with my dog and I said, what are you doing? I was shocked. And he made it seem like it was just a one-time thing, just gaslight the crap out of her. And that he was just goofing off. But I never left him alone with my dog again. I'm sorry, you didn't break up with him then? I feel like that's grounds for breaking up. Yeah, you may like your lifestyle, but like you could probably have this lifestyle with someone who's not doing that to a dog. In 2023, Holly Madison said that Hefner hated some of the girls wearing red lipstick because he wanted them to look young and fresh face. He wanted skimpy and fresh face and very young looking. I guess he thought that red lipstick aged them. So the younger, the better. To further that, Madison also said that the age of 28 was a death mark at the mansion. So all the women were made to feel like once they turned 28, they were done. Every once in a while, they would have a playmate who was older than that, but it was pretty rare. If someone was 28, they would always note that I wonder how much time I have left. So that's crazy. It said that she doesn't know how bad it affected her, spending her early 20s hearing you're done by 28. Like, really, you have a timeline to your fame and your house and your relationship. And that's crazy. And 28 is so young. This man was like 100 years old. So disgusting.
And I mean, it's not like we're talking about Caligula in the Roman times or even the 60s or 70s. I mean, this was the early 2000s that this was happening.
Right up until 2017. Right up until 7 years ago. Yeah. Holly Madison also famously claimed that Hefner kept a mountain of revenge porn, which she alleged included pictures of women taken while they were wasted out of their minds. As a result, she said they were all afraid to leave the mansion for so long in case those photos were leaked.
Yeah.
It says that his ex-wife, Crystal Hefner, eventually found the photos and then destroyed them. So, I mean, that was good. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Holly Madison and Bridget Marquette, I don't know how to say it. That was one of the girls from the show, have alleged that Hefner was abrasive at times, notably after Madison got a haircut that he didn't like, which he prompted him to call her old, hard, and cheap. She had long blonde hair. It was probably just a little snip. Like, listen, like that is the end of any relationship when a guy tells me he doesn't like my hair. I do not care what you have to say. It's my hair. Okay, in 2022, Holly Madison recalled the recruiter, whom she said was another playmate, ordering her to sleep with Hugh Hefner for the first time. She said, I was just another piece of meat for her to throw under him so she looks better. So there was literally a groomer. So now if you're thinking like Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, the groomer, the recruiter, this is actually a thing that happens, people. Someone is out there collecting young girls to give to this man. So gross. Bridget Marquardt also said of her experience with sleeping with Hugh Hefner for the first time that the recruiter came up to me, said, you're going to go, right? I was hoping that I could just observe and not participate because I definitely was not ready and I didn't want to. Bridget recalled telling the recruiter that she wasn't ready to do it yet, only to be told that she wouldn't be invited back if she didn't have sex with him. She eventually slept with him, which left her feeling icky, disappointed, and embarrassed. But then I asked, why did you agree to be his girlfriend just for a TV show? At what point, like, does your, I don't know, does your, what am I, like your self-worth, like, does it have a cost? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you thought it was disgusting.
What amount of Pepto-Bismol is going to cure that notion? You're going to have that Pepto-Bismol in kegs.
Good thing it's in every room. Good thing you have access to it anywhere you want. Holly Madison said that Hefner pressured her to quit her part-time waitressing job because it made him jealous. And he gave the playmates a weekly allowance of $1,000 each to encourage them not to get jobs. So I could see why these girls would stay. That's $4 easy grand a month. I mean, I don't know how easy it would be. I mean, you have to sleep with this guy. She said, I kept my waitressing job just at like 1 day a week because I just wanted to have something easy to go back to should things not work out. He said it made him jealous and he would appreciate it if I quit my job. In the same year, Bridget Marquardt claimed that Hefner would keep track of the playmates' allowances in a notebook that he kept locked away in a safe. The black book kept track of a few different things, like when somebody collected their allowance, and he would mark it off so you couldn't ask for it twice. He's like a classic old man, you know, old businessman. That's so funny. Holly Madison also said that sometimes Hefner would give some of the playmates a report that detailed how good of a job they were doing, which he put together by keeping track of who had sex with him and on what nights. It's like his ledger. Okay, I got 2 more points here, and then we can be done. I know we're already over. Holly Madison once revealed that she and some other mansion residents were not on birth control. Oh my gosh. I mean, could he still get a girl pregnant? Probably. I don't know who was and who wasn't, but I wasn't. I just don't think anyone ever felt for a second that they were going to get pregnant from him. I just don't think that we were ever in danger. Yuck, though. Ew, what if you were? What if you were tied to this man forever? I mean, I guess it's like, you know, the payout at the end. Anyways, the last point here that she made was that she described the mansion as being cult-like, and stating it was so easy to get isolated from the outside world there. You had a 9 o'clock curfew. Oh my gosh. You were encouraged to not have friends over. You weren't allowed to leave unless it was a family holiday. So yeah, that's a little cult-like for sure. If you encourage people or you don't allow them to do things, you isolate them from their family and their friends, and a 9 o'clock curfew. These are grown women.
Yeah.
So I don't know at what cost, like you said, how much Pepto-Bismol will it cost to I don't know. This is gross. It's a gross story. I saw it and I thought, yuck, let's talk about this. I hated talking about this. But I mean, if anyone is still out there being like, ooh, yeah, Playboy, like so awesome. No, it's not. Hef had the life. No, he did. He was disgusting. These women, if you like aspire to be a Playboy model one day, don't. It's gross.
Which to the point, I mean, at the same time running a multi-million dollar as the CEO of a publicly traded company, because Playboy was under the stock ticker PLA. You could buy on the public market Playboy stock at one point, and kind of went back and forth, public and private. And then his daughter took it over, Crystal Hefner, who just imagine being Hugh Hefner's daughter as all of this comes out and thinking about what that legacy is. But it does seem like it is something that started, I don't want to say nice, but fairly nice in the 60s and 70s and just continued to escalate and escalate and escalate. And I mean, just imagine if he didn't pass away when he did. Imagine what would still be going on.
Gosh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay, like to your point in the 60s, like it was risque, right? He's trying to break social norms. Oh, these are women that are showing not only their breasts, but their vaginas as well. Like that is risque for the time. They were trying to break out of a very stuffy box, as the sexual revolution happened in the later 60s and things like that. It took steam. And it probably shaped what the porn world is today. Not that I think that's a good thing, but like, yeah, it was revolutionary for the time. But like, this man's disgusting. The whole situation is disgusting. When you think about what these poor women, again, granted, they chose to be here, but they were scared to leave. What they had to go through just for their 15 minutes of fame is horrible. Now, I don't think it's much different than most of Hollywood, to be honest. So every time we talk about celebrities, and I'm like, by the way, I hate this celebrity, but like, I'm going to talk about them. It's because I think that a lot of Hollywood is like this. We see the people get thrown to the wolves, the Bill Cosbys, the Kevin Spaceys, the Harvey Weinsteins. Who's the latest? Oh, P. Diddy, duh. And I just think that they are a couple pawns in a huge chess game. I think everyone's sort of involved. So it's gross.
And people are dropping by the day too. I mean, Smokey Robinson of all people, the
What,
latest
really?
one come out. Yeah, he's it was his housekeepers that he was chasing around. It's just every time you think that person is, they could have never been like that. They are such a nice person, and it just
you don't know though.
Yeah.
People get on the sex high when you're famous, like you're used to people telling you yes, yes, yes all the time. So it's like, do you even know the difference between yes and no anymore? Like you don't know the word no because you're so used to getting whatever you want. So it's like, it's almost like a conditioning thing, right? It's like you're conditioned to hear yes. Yes, you'll get what you want. You can have it because you're famous. So when someone says no, you probably don't even hear it, honestly. So, I mean, there's definitely more of a psychological piece there. I mean, with Smokey Robinson, like, is there a statute of limitations on this? Like, did this happen recently or was this like a long time ago?
No, yeah, I think they are talking about the Motown days. So it's it might
and you're right, like women couldn't come out and talk about these things back then, but it's like, I don't know, it's been 40 years, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want women around the world to hate me because I think I'm not a feminist, but I also think that at some point, like you have to stand up for yourself, even when the time is inconvenient or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, that's it for today's show. A doom and gloom episode, except that Manuela got home. Manuela is home.
Eating termites for 30 long years. Yeah, talk about a natural diet.
Yeah, right. Tomorrow, Mr. Kenny is here. I think I saw Kenny in the comments for like a split second. So Kenny, I don't think you're here anymore, but Kenny will be back with Ron. Tomorrow, Ron will hopefully do a top 5. Kenny will be offended by it, the usual. I'm excited to watch. I always enjoy Thursdays. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine I am back on Thursday. So we'll probably see everyone then. Don't forget to check us out on all of our socials. And again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow.